Hey, hey. So we ready?
Yep.
Okay. So we're putting our JRM Inifinity Series reel and Toro DPA. I already got everything disassembled, obviously, and I took a little sandpaper, sand out these bearing housings on both sides, just to hopefully make it a little bit easier to go in. I do like how JRM put these little baggies on here with some oil for the bearing, rubber band. It's a nice set, and it sounds like they're greased pretty well. Just the other thing, make sure you got this bracket on the pitch arm, Toro calls it. I've definitely put a reel in and forgot the pitch arm. So don't let that happen to you. I've done that a bunch of times. Then you got to take the reel back apart. So it should slide right in there. This side here has got a wave washer. It's already in the housing. But make sure when you're cleaning it that the wave washer stays in. And then again, your pitch arm, make sure it's on here before you slide this back together. And when you put it on, make sure you put it on the right way. And there's two shoulder bolts that hold the side plate on. There's a captured nut. It's a flange nut that's usually on the inside. The shield holds this nut in place. This one falls out a lot of times, so when you're taking it apart, make sure it didn't fall out on you. But it goes right here in the back. I'll get my other shoulder bolt, put it in here. This is a 13 millimeter. So I like to do that first. Then I'm going to spin the reel. And this one spins nice and easy. Sometimes if you get it a little misaligned when you put it together, the reel be a little snug when you're spinning it. And if it is, just take a dead blow hammer or something and tap on the side, and it'll usually reset that alignment. But this is spinning nice and free. So the next thing I'll do is get my rear roller put together, and then I'm going to put this on the bench plate and make sure that my rear roller is parallel to the reel. Sometimes the side plate could be a little misaligned during this process, so that's what we're going to do there to check that. Normally when I take this apart, I don't only take one side loose, usually the drive side. That way you don't have to worry about recentering your rear roller or any of that stuff. Okay. I'm gonna loosen this side. Just see. Got a little more gap over here on this side than I do on this side. So I'm gonna loosen this one again. Yeah, that's better. The end of this roller here is tapered a little bit. Before I could slide it almost to the middle. Now it's just right on the end. So that's definitely better, definitely worth doing if you have a surface plate or leveling plate or any of those things. When you put a new reel in, doesn't matter what kind of reel it is, make sure that your reel is parallel to the roller on the Toro. So I'm gonna move back over there and finish putting this thing together. So this one has the universal groomer drive. So I gotta make sure O-ring busted. So go find one of those, hopefully. Got one in the parts room. Take a little sandpaper, clean this up where it slides in the housing. Yep. So I got an O-ring, had one in stock. Get it in this little groove. I usually put a little anti-seize on this. Just a little bit. Oops. I'll put a little on here to try to hold this rubber seal in. It's seen better days, but it doesn't do much. Just kind of keeps dirt out from that bearing. We do got to make sure we get this guy on. It's a little 3/8, it's probably a 1/4 inch bolt with a 3/8 head, not to be confused with a 10mm. Sometimes these bolts will, or the nuts, they rest in the aluminum housing on the other side. Sometimes they'll fall out too. You go to put them in. All right. Forgot to put the spring in, but you can usually get it in. It just goes on the pitch arm here. Just holds it forward. No big deal. That looks good. I usually put a little anti-seize on this. This is left-handed thread. And the way I always, well, there's a couple ways to remember it. One way is these notches on the bolt. If you see a notch like that, a lot of times it's left-handed thread. The other way I remember it is on a cutting unit. If the way the cutting unit is operated, this would be the left-hand side, so it's left-handed thread. Right-hand side, right-handed thread. That's the way I keep up with that. a good bit to try to get in there at one time. Get all this stuck back together here loosely. Like, this is the how to cut adjustment bolt. I like to put a little anesthesia on it too. They get rusty. A little bit to get that in there. Get a new Carter key for that, but do that in a minute. So this side for the groomer drive, to get it on, it's right-handed thread. And this nut out here, or bolt on the stud, or whatever you want to call it, it's 1/2 inch drive. So you just tighten that up and don't get it too tight. I have broke these off before, and then you gotta take the whole gearbox apart and replace the broken part. That's good. Now I can get the bolt on this side for our groomer. These bolts go in opposite. One's one way, one's the other way. It's a 3/16 Allen and 7/16 nut that holds these groomer drives in. All right, that's tight. We didn't loosen these. Yeah, well, that's good. So now we can put our pulley on here. And these are Toro Flex 2100s. And this is the older style, I guess. These are like 2012 models. And there's two, takes an 1/8 inch drive, Allen bit. There's 2 set screws, but there's 3 different color pulleys. The aluminum is a 22, or the aluminum colored, the silver one is a 22 tooth, a 24, and a 25. So if you set the 25 on the drive, so this drives the reel, coming from the gearbox, and the 22 here, that's the fastest speed you can get. And there's a chart inside here that tells you for your clip rate, see, 22 and 25 is the lowest one, and for a 14 bladed reel is 115 is our clip. So that's the way we got ours set up, because in the summertime we're mowing at 0.85 every day, which is crazy, but the members like it, so that's why we do it, right? Little anti-seize on the shaft. And then you do have to be careful when you put this on to make sure you don't push the key out. Pretty easy to knock the key out of place. All right, finally, we got it on there. So now tighten up our set screws. Make sure you get these tight. I've had them come loose before, and then you end up damaging the pulley and the key and the shaft. So let's get it about as tight as I feel comfortable there. Okay. Now we can put our belt on. So we got our pulley back here loose. As you tighten it up with a 17 millimeter here. But it's spring loaded, so the spring in here adds the tension. The spring here adds the tension to the belt, so you don't have to use a pry bar or anything else to tighten it. Got my 16 millimeter socket, so tighten that guy up. Now our drive should be good there. This is a brand new reel in here, so another thing I normally do is take these adjusters out, because you got to run them all the way in. We got a new bed knife installed already on the bed bar, and it's ground. It's just something I do when I'm changing reels. So I just make sure that's turning nice and free. Both of these. Actually, I'm gonna get a pair of snap ring pliers and pop that out and put some anti-seize on this. That's just best practice. All right, so good set of snap ring pliers, I highly recommend. Friend of mine, this was early on, he said, oh, I just used 2 screwdrivers. But man, you can get it done with 2 screwdrivers, but so much better with the right tool. This don't look too bad. Sometimes I'll take the wire brush and run over this. But this has got a bronze or brass bushing in here, so put a little anti-seize on it. And I like to get some on this surface here, because it also has the spring washer that puts a little tension on it. Sometimes these little clips will get bent for the detent too, where they don't there we go, where they don't engage the teeth on the adjuster, so they're replaceable. You can tell this one works pretty good, pretty damn loud. But I've seen them get bent the other way, especially if you use a boxed in wrench. Sometimes it'll catch on it and bend it out. I actually had a guy that worked for me that I think he enjoyed doing that. I don't know. It was probably just an accident, but. Just make sure your snap ring clicks back in. All right, that feels good. I'm also gonna put some anti-seize on the threads of this and thread it all the way back in. This is left-handed thread. It does not have the notches in it, but it is a left-handed thread. I don't really like that. A little snug in there. I'm gonna put the other one in, see what it feels like, but it shouldn't be that tight. Yeah, this one's screwing all the way in. We might have to take that one out, replace something, I don't know what. So I had a brand new adjuster in stock, and I probably overstock on parts, but man, it sure is nice to have what you need when you need it. And kind of the way I justify that is I got 14 walking greens mowers, I got 5 Toro triplexes, so that's what, 15 reels and 4, so I got 30 reels, so I got 60 of these in my fleet, roughly. And why not keep one on the shelf, right? Because this isn't the first one I've had to replace. You know, if you never replace it, don't worry about stocking it, but stuff that you replace might be worth it. Same thing with that O-ring. You know, when you're rebuilding reels, a lot of times those O-rings dry rot and then they break, and it's nice to have them in stock. That way it doesn't slow down production. So yep, screwed all the way in, no issues there. Let's put on a bed bar. Okay. Little anti-seize on these bolts. Nylon washer in between the bed bar and the side plate. And then we got a nylon washer and a metal washer. Metal washer goes to the nut, nylon in here, and then the nylon in the middle. The way I remember it is the nylon goes to the aluminum. Milwaukee tools. I love this little 1/4 inch ratchet. That's what I use for putting this bolt in. Our pivot bolt on both sides. The other thing, make sure you can spin this washer on both sides. If you can't spin the washer, like this one, then you gotta get another socket that I don't have over here and loosen it up. Because if this jam nut is over tightened, then it ends up bowing the bed bar up in the middle. So if you have it where it cuts in the middle and not on the edges, definitely check the tension on this lug nut. So got my 19mm socket. I'm gonna back off of that. The other thing I'll do is if I tighten the pivot bolt and the washer doesn't spin, I'll double check with the ratchet and make sure that the pivot bolt is tight, and then I want these washers where they will spin. A little resistance there is fine, but not too much. That's it. And just doing our pivot test here, that looks really good. Yeah. So now I'm going to tighten these up. When you tighten these nuts, you just run them until the spring's compressed, and then you want to back it off a half turn. So that's the way I do it. This ratchet and wrench is really handy for doing that. You can tell here, it's pretty quick just to snug that spring up and then back it off a half turn, like that. So that pretty much does it for putting in a reel and a DPA cutting unit. If you want to see the rest of this, all I'm going to do is adjust reel to bed knife and the how to cut. You can refer back to the bed knife, how to grind a bed knife video, my method of doing that. Until next time, see you, bye.